Yeah, so we just released a new product called Demand 360. It's on the existing Demand application, the JDA Demand product. And so really, I think our goal here is to provide a tool that gives demand planners a better means of, one, doing consensus forecasting, or really gives the organization a better way to do consensus forecasting, and two, a platform that allows them to do more scenario planning. So those are really two key requirements that we hear, key two demands from our customers. And the way that we're doing that really is with several capabilities. So first is the ability to look at multiple streams of data. So a demand planner, certainly their end goal is to get a forecast for this item at this point in time at this location, but there are lots of other factors as well. So if I'm thinking about a consensus planning process, I have multiple constituents that are providing me input, and so I want to be able to see the system forecast, but also what sales saying is going to happen, what is marketing telling me is going to happen. So I want to have a view of multiple streams of data at the same time. So that's a key piece of it, is multiple lines of data and multiple units of measure. So as a demand planner, typically my goal is units. I need to worry about units. But at the end of the day, if I'm collaborating with marketing, more likely they're thinking about revenue or they're thinking about profitability. And so I might want to take this unit forecast and be able to on the fly convert that into a revenue number, and really then to allow different constituents to look at their view of the data. So a demand planner is maybe very oriented towards an item in a location, and a marketing person is oriented towards sales dollars for a customer for a region. So it gives everybody, one view of the same data, but through the lens that they need. So I think that's a really powerful piece, is the unit of measure as well as the multiple measures that are in there. And then the second piece of it is around, or the second key capability is around the aggregation and disaggregation in real time. So being able to very quickly bring in a lot of data, roll that up to a meaningful level, see the big picture, make low-level adjustments where it makes sense, and then instantly see the result of that at the high level. And then lastly, being able to do robust custom calculations against that data. So I can pull in data not just from demand, but because this sits on the JDA platform, I can pull in data from fulfillment as well. And so I can see an inventory plan, I can see a forecast, and I can see all these pieces of information right now all in one dashboard. So really then sitting behind that, what makes this all work is the new in-memory model that we're using. And so some of the less technical folks are looking at this might be thinking, in-memory model, why does that matter? And the technical folks are thinking, that's the key. And the key really to the in-memory model to the end user is it gives us the ability to get a lot of data and very quickly bring that data back to them and to make it interactive. So what we've seen in the past is demand planners have been somewhat limited in their ability to do, say, scenario planning because of latency that exists. So maybe they're using another system to do the collaboration. Now there's an overnight batch that has to occur that says, okay, the marketing person put their number in. Now tomorrow is the demand planning person. I can see that reflected in the forecast. And then maybe next week supply planning gets that. And so there's this long time. Well, with this in-memory model now, we can pull all that data together, right? Because it's all coming from the demand and replenishment platform. And we can roll that up, see the aggregate, make the changes, and disaggregate huge amounts of data in real time. And because it's in memory and not going back and saving it to a server or to a database somewhere, it also means that we can do some what-ifing. So we can try something out and say, hey, if we were going to run this promotion, let's assume that at a high level we're going to increase demand by 20% in terms of revenue. Well, now if I disaggregate that, what does that look like for individual products? Can I even get that product there? Do I have the lead time to do that? So they can start thinking through some of these things and maybe say, no, that's not even a viable scenario. That looks great from a high level, but when I get down to the detail, it falls apart. These are things that took days, literally before, and now in minutes, planners can get the visibility to that. So that's really the in-memory, or the technical piece of it is that bit. So, what we think is going to happen at the end of the day here is, one, it makes the planners just much, much more efficient, because now they're working through a scenario that maybe they had to start on today, remember to come back to tomorrow, and then remember to come back to the final part 3 days later. They can work, that sort of end-to-end, be done with it, and move on to the next scenario, and giving the other constituents in the process a more real-time view of what's going on. So we think that those really are the key capabilities that we think are going to really help demand planners, but not just demand planners alone, the other constituents in a consensus process as well. So that's really the objective.